For the last 18 months, I've attempted to make money online. I've met up with hundreds of entrepreneurs, successful ones and aspiring ones. And I've noticed that a lot of guys fail at one thing. And this one thing easily would have guaranteed them success. And it's probably not what you think it is. It's not their product, it's not their work ethic, and it's not their marketing. It's how they build their network. And luckily, I was very fortunate. I fell, I landed on my feet, and I learned how to build a solid network. You see, most entrepreneurs, they treat networking like trading business cards the old-fashioned way at business events. They think that more equals better, but it just doesn't. Everyone's heard the phrase quality over quantity. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to break down the 3 critical mistakes which I have seen a lot of really cool guys make, and which makes them stay mediocre. This is all while the other 1% of these entrepreneurs, those genuine action takers, are building those networks which changes their life and their businesses. And if you're making even one of these mistakes, and statistically you probably are, then this video could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions. All right, let me tell you about 2 entrepreneurs I know. Let's call them Mark and David. So 5 years ago, they were in identical positions. Same market, same niche, same industry, whatever. Even similar revenue. For the sake of it, let's say 500K annually. They were both ambitious, they were both hardworking, both attending these same networking events, same masterminds. Fast forward to today, Mark's business is doing 800K a year, not too bad, right? Decent growth, and he's proud of it. David, his business hit 8 million last year. That's 10x more than Mark. You probably know the answer to this if they were in the same industry, same niche, similar businesses. What was the difference here? And it was their network. Mark had 3,000 LinkedIn connections. He's got business cards from every single conference he's attended, every single in-person seminar. He's got Fathom meeting recordings from all the Zoom calls, webinars, whatever he's attended. His phone is full of contacts he met at these events, met at these webinars, guys who's met on Instagram and online. The other guy, David, he's probably got about 50 people, 60 people in his WhatsApp. These guys he speaks to regularly, he checks in with them every single month. But here's the thing, those 50 people would actually climb mountains for David. 3,000 connections on LinkedIn that Mark has, they do not know him on a personal level. They don't have that relationship with him. And the guys who would generally help out David when he needs it, David would do the exact same thing to them. It's a bit like me and the guys in Willionaire. We're a pretty small circle, but these guys have got my back and I've got theirs. You see, Mark made all 3 mistakes I'm about to share with you, and David avoided them completely. And before you think this is just survivorship bias or some sort of luck, I've literally built a community called Willionaire specifically around fixing these mistakes. The whole purpose of the community is to help entrepreneurs scale, grow their business, connect with like-minded entrepreneurs whilst enjoying the process. I've seen this pattern play out hundreds of times. The entrepreneur who gets this right doesn't just build a bigger business, they build completely different lives. We all know that we're not in this self-improvement gig. We're not building a business just for ourselves. We're doing it to increase the quality of other people's lives as well. I know at least I am. Okay, so mistake number 1. You're collecting contacts, not building connections. Here's what most entrepreneurs do, and maybe you're doing this right now. You go to these networking events, which is sick. I couldn't promote that anymore. You exchange numbers, details, you add people on LinkedIn, you send the generic, it was great meeting you messages at best. You think networking is a numbers game. Again, more contacts equals more opportunities, right? But wrong. So let me ask you this. Out of the last 50 contacts you've put on your phone, the last 50 LinkedIn connections you've had, how many of them could you call up right now and share a real personal problem with, and they're going to help you? If the answer is less than 5, if any, you're not connecting. You see, I learned this lesson the hard way. Earlier on in my whole entrepreneurship journey, when I first moved to Thailand, I spent my entire days, literally back-to-back calls, just connecting with different people. I was that guy with hundreds, if not 1,000 contacts on my LinkedIn, on my WhatsApp, on my Instagram, but none of those contacts actually meant anything. It held no deeper weight. But at the time, I felt really successful. I felt like I was a networking king. But in reality, that would just pay no dividends to me whatsoever. And I'm actually glad I'm able to share this with you. If I hadn't made these mistakes, I wouldn't be able to share it, and I would have never been able to go down and build the business which I've built. So back then, when I actually needed help, a real introduction, someone who vouched for me, those hundreds of contacts I made was absolutely useless. Everything changed for me when I stopped asking myself, how many people can I meet? And I started asking myself, how deeply can I connect with the right people? By this point, I've spoken about this, so 2 to 3 masterminds now, and I've given an entire presentation about how to build your network, how to build genuine relationships with different people, and how it's not a numbers game. So instead of trying to meet 50 people on Instagram or online or at an event, I focus on having 3 real conversations. Instead of sending 100 generic direct messages on Instagram trying to connect with all these different entrepreneurs, I would send like 5 personalized ones to the ones that actually led to phone calls, guys who I already have heard of, guys with mutual friends, guys who I know I could be able to help one way or another, and that they would be able to help me. Value is interchangeable. Here's the deeper question. Why do we default to collecting instead of connecting? It's because it feels productive. It's measurable. It gives us the illusion of progress. Connecting is messy. It's unmeasurable. It requires vulnerability and it takes time. But collecting gets you a database. It gets you a fast, perceived brotherhood. So here's what you do instead. First, it's always quality over quantity. Always. I'd rather have 10 people who genuinely care about my success than 1,000 people who barely remember my name. Second, give first. Don't go into every interaction thinking, what can I get? Ask them, what can I do for you? Ask yourself, what can I give to this person? Because that will pay dividends in the future. It's the law of reciprocity. So you want to be useful before you try and get help. Third, follow up with value, not just politeness. Instead of greeting someone like, oh, great to meet you, man, bring some source to the call. I literally had a call today. I've met the guy in Dubai. I've connected. I've probably known him for about 6 to 8 months now. Actually longer if I was in Dubai last November. But anyway, besides the point, we've had a bunch of calls now. We've helped each other out with various things. He's just launched his brand new high ticket offer. He's being coached by William Brown, and he gave me some source to do my YouTube, which is essentially why I'm recording this video. He's helping me with using my leverage. And what is my leverage? I've generated over £50,000 in a month. I've got an insane network of like-minded entrepreneurs who generally care for one another, and that's why this video is going to appeal to other entrepreneurs like myself who want to build a better brotherhood, get around the right people. And in return, although the value isn't exchangeable on the same value, let's say, I've connected with some boys in Bali and I've given some things to do because he's going to Bali in 2 weeks for a 2-week holiday. So whilst I've been on this entrepreneurial journey and I've met up with all these cool guys, what I've realized is the guys with the best businesses, guys making the most revenue, they don't have the biggest networks. They've got the strongest networks. They've got the deepest ones. And that's really what the culture is about in Willionaire, is building strong, meaningful relationships with one another. Okay, next mistake is you only network when you need something. This is where most entrepreneurs reveal themselves as amateurs. They disappear for months, they're building their business in isolation and seclusion, then suddenly they need something comes up, they need help with the client acquisition, their lead gen, their closing, whatever it is, their marketing, or they need customers, they need connections, they need referrals, and that's when they show up. And if you're networking with people and this happens to you, you can tell, you know when someone just wants something out of you and doesn't necessarily want to give. You can smell the desperation from miles away. The real networking stuff, that doesn't happen when you need help. It starts when you don't need help. So I'll be brutally honest with you. This mistake alone almost killed my business. I was so focused on grinding and hustling that I ignored the good connections, my network, for far too long. Head down working 80-hour weeks, whatever, convinced that success was just about outworking everyone else. Then I hit a wall. I needed strategy. I needed connections. I needed opportunities that would open new doors. So I reached out to my network expecting for help, but really, I wasn't deserving of this help. I didn't do anything that would make that person want to help me, really. Essentially, the relationships had just gone cold. People had moved on, and I was starting from zero. So don't make the same mistake as I did. Say this networking thing isn't something you do, it's something you are. The most successful entrepreneurs that I know, the guys doing silly 7 figures, they never stop nurturing their relationships, even when they don't need anything. And that's what I'm doing now. Even if someone's not on Willionaire and I generally value them as a good human being, I'll not let them out my sight. I'll always be checking up with them on WhatsApp. Just like the guy this morning. I reached out to him like 2 days ago saying, broski, it's been a while, let's jump on a call. So think about it from the other person's perspective. Somebody only reaches out to you when they need something. How would that make you feel? It's used, right? But when someone checks in regularly, shares opportunities, making reductions, celebrates your wins, that person becomes part of your inner circle. They're the top of your mind. If you know something that could help that person, then you're way more likely and more incentivized to then go, oh look, this might actually benefit that person, let me make that connection. Here's the framework which I use now. Every month, excluding the guys in Willionaire, I'm always in contact with them, I reach out to 10 people in my wider network, not because I need anything, just to check in, share something valuable, see how I can help them, offer to jump on a call, offer to connect them with someone that could potentially open new doors for them or help them overcome a bottleneck that they're facing currently. Every month, I make sure I organize at least one event, meetup, trip, mastermind with Willionaire, my actual inner circle network. It could be a dinner, it could be a trip away to Poland like we're going on the weekend, or it could just be a quick weekend like we're doing at the end of the month in York. Now, this is something I'm wanting to do every year. Bear in mind, I've only been doing this 18 months, but I want to do a huge community meetup where we get every single member of Willionaire Elite and Willionaire Ascend under one roof and actually celebrate the work and the efforts that have been put out throughout that year. Plus, it's a great way to get everyone in there. People can bring +1s, they can bring their wives, they can bring their girlfriends and their partners, so it's going to be a good experience. And here's what's interesting. The more I invested in my network without needing anything, the more opportunities that started flowing to me. The better people I was connected with, the more conversations with high-level mentors I managed to get myself with. People started bringing me referrals. People started bringing me like other exclusive deals. And this just all happened naturally. Because I wasn't networking for transactions. I was networking for relationships. The entrepreneurs who understand this, they don't wait until they need help to build their networks. They build it when they're strong, so it's there when they're not. Mistake number 3, and this is a big one, you're staying in your lane. You're networking with people exactly like you. Same industry, same level, same challenges, same thinking. This is networking incest, and it's keeping you small. Let me ask you something. If you're trying to get from where you are to where you want to be, why are you surrounding yourself with people who are already where you are? You wouldn't surround yourself with people drinking because every single weekend going out partying, doing cocaine, because that's not who you are. You don't want to surround yourself with people starting out because that you're not going to be inspired anymore. You're not going to be pushed to go to that higher level. Again, being surrounded by people exactly like you is cool and it is needed, but to an extent. The majority of the conversations you want to be having are with people who are ahead of you. Now, if I make 50K per month in my networking community, and one of the other guys makes 50K a month in ads, and one of the other guys makes 50K a month in sales coaching. We're not at the same level. Financially, income, revenue-wise, we are. But that guy is way ahead of me than I am at closing and client acquisition. Same with the guy with ads. So you've got to position yourself in a way where you're surrounded with people with different skill sets. Most entrepreneurs network horizontally. They connect with peers, they connect with other people at their same level, same industry, same niches, doing the exact same things. Yes, that does help because you've got people going through the same problems as you and you work them out together. But that only solves 50% of the problems. If you're dealing with a guy, say you run an SMMA agency, and the other guy does too, but he makes double what you make, he's probably already been through the mistakes and the struggles and the bottlenecks that you're going through right now. So that's just not networking, that's commiserating. I realized this when I looked at my network and I was surrounding myself with other entrepreneurs barely making a dime online, because I was that person too. We'd get together, we'd talk about the future and our goals, our dreams, our aspirations, but the strategies and actions just were never in place. That was never a strong topic we would talk about. And that would frustrate me. We were kind of in the ego chamber. Yes, we'd escaped the 9 to 5. We were living in Thailand. Where was that actually getting us? Then I got invited to a dinner with some bigger, better guys, and I realized what was possible. And I realized the type of people I needed to be surrounded with is just a complete different level entirely. Problems they talked about weren't the problems I had. The opportunities they saw were not the opportunities I saw. The way they approached their businesses, relationships, even life, it was just on a completely different operating frequency to what I was on. That's when I understood you don't rise to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of your network. You see, most people are afraid to network upwards. They think they don't belong in these rooms. They think that they don't have any value to provide. I'm sure you can agree on this one. They think they don't have anything to offer to people more successful than they do. That's loser thinking. But actually, in actual fact, everybody has something to offer to anyone. You can learn something from everybody. Every successful person was once where you're at right now. They remember what it was like. And if you approach them with genuine curiosity, with value to offer, with respect for their time, most of them are going to help you. Most of them, it's actually going to feed their ego. You know, being able to help someone below them. Like, think about it, that's just human psychology. You have to be strategic about it. And this is how I network with people who are doing better than I am. So first of all, you've got to identify the people who you are where you want to be. Not just financially, but in terms of lifestyles, relationships, the way they hold themselves, the impact they have on the people they're surrounding. Secondly, you study them, you consume their content, you understand the challenges that they've had, figure out where you might be able to add value. Third, look for natural connection points. Maybe we both went to the same, I didn't go to university, I don't know why I was going to say university. Maybe you both visited the same place, travelled or lived somewhere for a couple of months. That is rapport, you know, at its most fundamental level. Maybe you're both kickboxers, you both train martial arts, whatever it could be. You want to find common ground. And then finally, you approach with value. You offer to give, not just need. You know, I share an insight, maybe an introduction, which it comes easier for me since I have a wide network. You can offer help before asking. Look, even a book recommendation is value. It is to me. If someone offers me a game-changing book, then bro, that guy's a legend. But the thing that people miss is you also need to network down. You need to connect with people who are hungry, who are ambitious, who are climbing, who are scaling, who remind you what that ambition looks like. And that's exactly why I have Willionaire Ascend. Willionaire Ascend is for the guys who aren't making over 10K a month yet. And believe you me, these guys want it. These guys are hungry. And these guys are driven. They're surrounded by people who are just like themselves, who are eager to level up and network up. And that's exactly why I created it. And now York, 20th of June, 2025, that's when I'm going to be hosting the first mixed meetup for both Elite and Ascend community members in the UK. And it's going to be a really, really sick event. So these guys, they keep you sharp, they'll challenge your complacency, and they'll remind you why you even started. The most powerful networks are not horizontal, they're vertical. People above you pulling you up, and people below you to keep you grounded and push you up even more, and a few peers who understand the journey. That's what we have in Willionaire. We've got guys making 300k a month, we've got guys who are making 10k a month. And then in Ascend, we've got guys making 1k a month and guys making 8k a month. So stop networking in your lane, start networking for your future and in your future. Look, I need to be real with you here. These aren't networking mistakes. These are life mistakes. The entrepreneurs who stay stuck making these mistakes don't just build smaller businesses, they build smaller lives. I've learned that networking isn't just about business, it's about lifestyle. It's about relationships and it's about friendships and ultimately brotherhoods. They work harder because they don't have the right connections to work smarter. They miss the opportunities because they're not in rooms where opportunities are discussed. I say it all the time. Brilliant entrepreneurs working their asses off, making decent money, but they're just feeling isolated, feeling like they're pushing a boulder up the hill alone. They don't realize that the entrepreneurs who are at the top aren't necessarily way smarter or more hardworking. They just have better people to talk to. So ask yourself, what is staying in your comfort zone costing you? What opportunities are you missing because you're collecting instead of connecting? The price of bad networking isn't just missed opportunities, it's a missed life. But here's the good news today. You can fix all of this right now. Stop collecting contacts and business connections, quality over quantity always. Stop networking when you only need something. Make a part of who you are, not just what you do. Stop staying in your lane, network up, network down, network parallel. Your future might be hiding. I've built Willionaire specifically for entrepreneurs who understand this. We don't just network, we build brotherhoods. We don't just exchange business cards or contacts, we change each other's lives. Look at your network right now. Pick 3 people who you've been meaning to reach out to, not because you need something, but because you genuinely wanted to connect or reconnect. Send them a message, share something valuable, ask them how you can help. Then identify one person who's at where you want to be, find a way to add value to their life, and then make the connection. Because here's what I know for certain. Your network isn't just your net worth, it's your life worth. And if this did resonate with you, then let me know what mistakes you've been making, what changes you're going to be making. And if you're ready to network at a completely different level, surround yourself with genuine fucking fantastic human beings, then you can check out what we're building at Willionaire. Links are below. Kings, I'll see you on the next one.